Chapter 21. British harass rebel settlements. British soldiers and Indian scouts from Fort Oswegatchie during the extraordinary winter of 1780 to 81 made repeated forays against the settlements of Forts Stanwix, Dayton, and Eaton. Many prisoners were taken. If permitted to live, they were treated mercilessly. Illness struck the garrison at Fort Oswegatchie. Robertson, on September 14, 1780, informed Haldeman that Lieutenant Grant was obliged to leave this place, very ill of the ague. In late September, Captain Fraser, accompanied by a sergeant, 7 soldiers, and 14 Indians, left Fort Oswegatchie to join Sir John Johnson at the Mohawk River. Captain Robertson, on October 9th, wrote to General Haldeman, "The scout of 6 Indians and 2 white men are arrived, with 2 prisoners near Fort Dayton. They say there is a reinforcement of 200 men gone to Fort Stanwix about 10 days ago. This scout burned 8 good dwelling houses, furnished, their barns full of wheat and peas, and killed a number of cattle. The prisoners tell me that the man of mine wounded and taken prisoner some time ago had his leg cut off and died next day at Fort Herkimer." On November 11th, Robertson, in another report to Haldeman, said, "A scout from hence of 4 Indians and 3 men of my company is returned, with 2 prisoners from the Little Falls on the Mohawk River at Elisa's mill. They either cannot or will not tell any news. Only Sir John Johnson's party did, and that seemingly very trifling to them. They add that this same mill is the only one in any way serviceable to that part of the country, and is now full of grain. I am sorry that this party failed in destroying it, but if possibly I can procure another small scout this fall, they shall be sent back to look at it, for I really think that teasing the people at the German flats will cause them to abandon their present homes this fall, or at the farthest next spring. So of course the Fort Stanwix garrison will follow." On January 15, 1781, Robertson informed his general, "I have sent a scout of 10 chosen Indians and 2 men of my company to Elisa's mill this morning. The weather has been such that it could not be attempted sooner, not half an inch of snow until yesterday, and even now only about 2 inches. On February 3rd he wrote, "In case I march, the want of snowshoes will retard me by the way. I wish to have made by the Indians 50 pairs of good snowshoes to be in readiness for scouts." On March 17, 1781, Robertson presented a plan for the capture of Fort Stanwix. "There is a captain of militia from the German flats, Fort Eaton, taken prisoner late last fall and kept here on account of his wounds, whose family, 10 in number, is at Fort Eaton. He proposed to me to lead a party to that place, with a rope around his neck, and talks of the certainty of taking it without bloodshed, as he well knows different places quite defenseless there. The party is to consist of 80 men, and set out as early as possible in the spring. There are about 70 in the fort, 35 fit for duty, the rest old men and boys. If your Excellency approves of this scheme, I beg leave of asking the command of the party, and if my company, now 50, is completed to 70, with 1 active officer and some Indians from Colonel Campbell, it will do the business."